Right now, in this very moment, there is a version of you that is fighting the hardest battle nobody sees. You are staring at a phone screen. Your thumb is hovering over their name. Your heart is beating so loud you can hear it in your ears, and every single part of you is screaming, "Just send the message." But something inside whispers, "Don't. Hold on. Not yet." So you put the phone down, you breathe. And then 5 minutes later, the war starts again. If that sounds like you, I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. Because most people in your position right now are about to make the worst mistake of their life. Not because they're weak, not because they don't care, but because they don't understand the psychological game that's being played, not just by the other person, by their own mind. Here is the truth that nobody is telling you. You are not struggling because you miss them. You are struggling because your brain is wired to chase what feels like safety, even when that safety is slowly destroying you. You are fighting a battle inside your own head, and the enemy is not them. The enemy is the version of you that is desperate for closure, for answers, for one more chance to be enough. And that version of you, that version is lying to you. I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, maybe I'm being too hard on them. You're thinking, maybe I acted too fast. You're thinking, what if I just reached out and things finally made sense? These thoughts feel real. They feel like truth, but they are not truth. They are xianjing. They are the trap your nervous system sets for you when it senses withdrawal from someone you were emotionally attached to. Your body does not know the difference between survival and love. It only knows that something is missing, so it begs you to fill the void. And if you give in, you lose everything. Every single day you have held this boundary, you have been rewriting your own story. You have been choosing yourself over the comfort of temporary relief. You have been standing on a cliff edge alone with no applause and no recognition, choosing growth over familiarity. That is not weakness. That is one of the strongest things a human being can do. And I need you to understand something before you go any further. The fact that you are still here, still holding, still questioning whether to break it or not. That tells me everything about you. It tells me that deep down, in the deepest part of your soul, you already know the answer. You know that breaking no contact will not give you the peace you are looking for. It will only reset the cycle. It will only send you back to the beginning, weaker and more confused than before. But your heart is tired, your mind is exhausted, and the silence feels unbearable. I get it. I really do. Which is why I need you to understand something that will change everything for you. What you are experiencing right now is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is a sign that you are in the middle of one of the most powerful transformations of your life. Every day you choose to stay strong, you are not just waiting for someone to come back. You are becoming someone who will never again accept less than they deserve. And when I finish talking to you, you are going to leave this video with absolute clarity on what to do next. Not confusion, not second guessing. Clarity. You will understand exactly why you are doing this, what is really happening on the other side, and how to stay solid no matter what your mind throws at you, but only if you stay until the very end. So here is the deal. If you are serious, if you are ready to stop fighting yourself, if you are done with the cycle of reaching out, regretting it, and starting over again, then do one thing right now. Commit to watching this entire video, not because I asked you to, but because you owe it to yourself to finally have the answers you have been searching for in all the wrong places. Because the person you are right now, the one who is tired, who is hurting, who is tempted to break, that person deserves to know the truth. And the truth is exactly what I'm about to give you. So keep your phone in your hand, but keep your focus on what I'm about to say, because what you learn in the next few minutes could be the reason you finally find peace. You have been living in a world where nobody understands what you're going through. Everyone around you says the same thing. Just move on. Just stop thinking about them. Just focus on yourself, and it makes you want to scream. Because they have no idea what it feels like to sit in a room full of people and feel completely alone. They have no idea what it feels like to wake up every morning and reach for your phone, hoping to see their name, and finding nothing but silence. They have no idea what it feels like to replay every conversation, every moment, every text message in your head, searching for answers that will never come. The silence is not just quiet. It is loud. It is heavy. It is suffocating. It fills every space in your mind. It follows you to work. It sits next to you at dinner. It whispers to you when you try to sleep. It makes the night feel like it lasts forever, and the days feel like they are moving in slow motion. And the worst part? Nobody sees the war inside you. To the world, you look fine. You are functioning. You are showing up. You are doing what you are supposed to do. But inside, you are breaking apart piece by piece, holding yourself together with whatever strength you have left. Let me tell you something right now. What you are feeling is not weakness. What you are feeling is not madness. What you are feeling is the most human response to loss that exists. When you form an emotional bond with someone, that bond becomes part of your internal map of the world. It becomes a part of how you understand yourself. And when that bond is suddenly severed, your brain experiences it almost the same way it experiences physical pain. Studies after studies have proven this. The areas of the brain that light up during heartbreak are the same areas that light up when you feel physical injury. So when you feel like you cannot breathe, like the weight on your chest is unbearable, like the world will never feel right again, your body is not lying to you. The pain is real. But here is what most people never tell you. The pain you are feeling right now is not proof that you need them. It is proof that you loved deeply. It is proof that you were capable of genuine connection. It is proof that you have a heart that does not do things halfway. That is not something to be ashamed of. That is something to be proud of. But somewhere along the way, you started believing the wrong story about yourself. You started believing that if you just loved them better, tried harder, gave more, the silence would end. You started believing that the pain means something is wrong with you. You started believing that you deserve to be stuck in this dark place, waiting for someone who may never come back. None of that is true. None of it. You are not in this pain because you failed. You are in this pain because you participated in something real, and now your heart is doing what it always does when something real ends. It grieves, it hurts, it resists, but your mind has been twisted by the ache. And that is where the danger lives, because the more it hurts, the more your brain starts telling you that the only solution is to reach out. The more it hurts, the more you start to romanticize what you had. The more it hurts, the more you convince yourself that one message, one conversation, one moment of connection will make the pain go away. But it won't, and you know it. Somewhere deep down, beneath all the longing and the desperation, you already know that breaking the silence will not bring you peace. It will bring you right back to the beginning. It will make you start this war all over again. It will leave you feeling even more lost than before. So why is it still so hard? Because you are trying to outrun pain with the same tools that created it. You are trying to use connection to heal a wound that was caused by connection, and that is like pouring gasoline on a fire and hoping it puts it out. The silence is not your enemy. The silence is your space to breathe. It is your room to heal. It is the gap that allows your nervous system to recalibrate. It is the pause that gives your mind the chance to finally see clearly again. But your mind does not want clarity. Your mind wants comfort, and comfort is the most dangerous thing you can give yourself right now. So let me ask you something. When you think about breaking no contact, what are you really looking for? Are you looking for closure? Because closure does not come from them. It comes from you. Are you looking for answers? Because the only real answer is that some people are not capable of giving you what you need, and that is not your fault. Are you looking for hope? Because hope that is built on silence is not hope. It is delusion. The silence hurts because you are human, and humans were never designed to walk away from people they loved. But sometimes, the greatest act of love you can give yourself is to stay in the silence long enough to understand that you deserve more than what silence can offer. You are not broken, you are not weak, you are not hopeless, you are in pain. And pain is temporary, even when it feels permanent. Hold on. Now that you understand what you are feeling, let me tell you what you are actually fighting. Because right now you think you are fighting them. You think you are waiting for them to wake up, to realize their mistake, to miss you enough to reach out. You think your entire future depends on whether or not they decide to come back into your life. But that is not what is happening here. You are not fighting for them. You are fighting against your own misunderstanding of the situation. And until you change that, every day you spend in no contact will feel like a punishment instead of a power move. Here is what you need to understand. Not everyone processes love the way you do. Some people, when they feel themselves getting close to someone, do not lean in. They lean out. not because they do not care, but because care feels dangerous to them. Connection feels like a threat. The more they feel for someone, the more their nervous system tells them to run. This is what psychology calls avoidant attachment. And if you have been dealing with someone who goes silent when things get real, who pulls away when you get close, who seems fine after months of no contact while you are falling apart, this is the reason. It is not about you. It never was. Let me say that again. It was never about you. When someone with an avoidant attachment style feels pressure, they do not open up. They close down. When they sense that you need them, they do not show up. They disappear. When the relationship starts asking for real intimacy, they do not lean into it. They find reasons to leave. This is not a choice they are making consciously. This is their nervous system working exactly the way it was programmed to work, usually from childhood. Somewhere along the way, they learned that love was not safe. That closeness led to disappointment, that depending on someone was the fastest way to get hurt. So they built walls, thick, invisible walls that keep everyone out. And when you came along and started getting close to those walls, their system sent out an alarm. It said, "Danger, get out, do not let them in." And they listened. That is why they could walk away so easily. That is why the silence does not seem to bother them the way it bothers you. That is why they can be in a relationship with you one day and act like you never existed a week later. Their brain is protecting them. But here is what you need to understand about protection mechanisms. They do not feel the way you feel. They are not sitting in the same pain you are sitting in, not because they are heartless, not because they do not care, but because their system has literally numbed them to what you are experiencing right now. The depth of feeling you have, that is your gift, that is your strength. But when you are dealing with someone who cannot meet you on that level, your gift becomes your weakness. Your ability to feel deeply becomes the thing that keeps you stuck, because you are out here feeling everything for both of you, while they are somewhere else, protected behind walls they built years ago. And that is the trap. You keep trying to break through those walls with love, with patience, with one more chance, with proof that you are safe, that you will not hurt them, that you are different from everyone who came before. But walls do not come down because someone knocks politely on them. Walls come down when the person inside decides they are ready. And you cannot control that. You cannot force it. You cannot rush it. Which means right now, everything you are doing by staying in no contact is not just for them. It is for you. Because every day you spend waiting for them to change is a day you are not spending, building a life where you do not need them to change. Every moment you spend hoping they will reach out is a moment you are giving away power over your own happiness. Every second you stay stuck in this cycle is a second you are telling yourself that your worth depends on whether or not someone with broken attachment patterns decides to show up for you. That ends today, not because they changed, but because you did. Understanding this does not make the pain go away, but it changes what the pain means. When you feel that aching desire to reach out, you can now look at it and say, I am not missing them. I am missing the version of them I invented in my head. The one who could meet me, the one who could show up, the one who could love me the way I deserve. That version does not exist. And accepting that is how you finally find your way out. Let me take you inside your own head for a moment. Because what is happening to you right now is not a mystery. It is not random. It is not some sign from the universe that you should give up or reach out or do something reckless. What is happening to you is pure neuroscience. And once you understand it, you will never look at your urges the same way again. Here is how your brain works when you form an attachment to someone. The moment you start to care about a person, your brain releases a cascade of chemicals that create what scientists call a dependency loop. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. These are the chemicals that make connection feel like oxygen. They make you feel alive. They make the other person feel essential to your survival, even when they are not. This is not poetry. This is biology. Your brain literally rewires itself around that person. Their schedule becomes part of your routine. Their voice becomes a sound that calms you. Their presence becomes so deeply embedded in your daily experience that their absence creates something that feels exactly like withdrawal. And withdrawal is exactly what it is. When you stop talking to someone you were deeply connected to, your brain goes into a kind of chemical deficit. The reward system that was built around them starts looking for its next hit. And the only source of that hit, their contact, their response, their attention, which means your brain is now screaming at you to reach out, not because it wants you to find peace, but because it wants its chemical fix back. This is why you feel insane. This is why you feel like you cannot think straight. This is why 5 minutes without their message feels like 5 hours. Your nervous system is in panic mode, not because your life is in danger, but because the system it built around connection has been disrupted, and it does not know how to function without it. Now here is where it gets even more interesting. Your brain is not just fighting for comfort, it is fighting against a psychological phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect. This is the idea that your brain holds onto unresolved situations much more tightly than it holds onto completed ones. When you have no closure, when you do not know why they pulled away, when the story feels unfinished, your brain keeps it alive in your memory. It keeps reminding you of it. It keeps pulling you back to it. Because unfinished business feels like danger to your survival instinct. And this is why the silence is so loud. Your brain keeps running the same loops over and over. What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? What if I had said something else? What if I try again? These questions feel like they are coming from love. But they are not. They are coming from a brain that is trying to complete a pattern. And the easiest way your brain knows to complete a pattern? One message, one conversation, one moment of contact. But you have to understand something critical here. Every time you give in to that urge, you are not solving the problem. You are reinforcing the loop. You are telling your brain, yes, when I feel this way, I should reach out. That is how I get relief. And the relief you feel for a few minutes, it never lasts. It always comes back, and it always comes back stronger. This is the trap. This is why no contact feels like torture, and why breaking it feels like relief for only a brief moment. Because what you are experiencing is not a broken heart that needs mending. What you are experiencing is a neurological habit that needs to be broken. And habits, as you already know, do not break by giving in to them. They break by staying consistent even when every nerve in your body is screaming at you to act. But here is what nobody has probably told you. The fact that your brain is fighting this hard does not mean you are losing. It means you are in the middle of the hardest part, and the hardest part always comes right before the breakthrough. The people who give in during this phase never get to the other side. They stay trapped in the loop forever. But the people who understand what is really happening, who can look at their urges and say, I see what you are doing, brain, but I am not falling for it again, those people break free. Those people come out on the other side stronger, clearer, and completely untouchable. Your brain is playing tricks on you. Know the trick. Name the trick. Reject the trick. Every single time.